My aunt borrowed my Mercedes to drive her kid to school and kept it for 2 whole years. I asked for it back countless times, but she kept making excuses. Finally, I snapped and used my spare key to quietly drive it back from her garage. The next day, she showed up at my door with the cops. She pointed right at me and yelled, "Officer!" He's the one who stole my $480,000 car from my garage. The door was being pounded so hard it shook, rough, urgent, and completely overbearing. I was sitting in the living room, still holding that cold spare key in my hand. Last night, the moonlight had followed me through the quiet neighborhood like I was a real thief. But what I took was my own property. "Who is it this early?" My mom's sleepy voice came from the bedroom. My dad had already gone to open the door. The second it opened, a shrill woman's voice stabbed in like a blade. "Officer, it's him, Lin Wei. He stole my car." It was my aunt, Lin Shukin. Her voice was full of outrage, like she had truly been wronged, as if she were the rightful victim here. My dad stood at the door, his face shifting from shock to embarrassment and panic. "Shukin, what are you doing? We can talk. Why did you call the police?" "Brother, you're still defending him? Your son is a thief now." My aunt shoved my dad aside. Behind her stood 2 serious-looking officers in uniform. She pointed straight at me, the bright jade bracelet on her wrist flashing in my eyes. "Officer, it's him. I kindly parked my car near his place so he could use it, but he got greedy and stole it in the middle of the night." As soon as she said that, several neighbors poked their heads out into the hallway. Their curious, probing, judgmental looks felt like tiny needles stabbing into my skin. My mom rushed out of the bedroom, still in her pajamas. When she saw the scene, her face instantly turned pale. "Shuqin, this must be a misunderstanding. Wei Wei isn't that kind of person." "Sister-in-law, don't. You never really know someone. That was my new Mercedes, $480,000, and now it's gone." Lin Shukin stomped her foot, tears coming on cue like the lead actress in a tragedy. My dad's face looked awful. He suddenly turned and glared at me, growling under his breath. "Lin Wei, look what you did! Apologize to your aunt right now!" My mom ran over and yanked my arm hard, her voice trembling. "Wei Wei, say something. Explain it to your aunt. Give her the car back. Why make the family look like this?" One played bad cop, one played good cop. One treated me like the family disgrace, the other told me to keep the peace. At that moment, my heart felt like it had been dropped into ice water, turning colder inch by inch. 2 years. For 2 whole years, I begged her like a pauper to give my car back. And she would always say, "Wei Wei, you're a guy. Taking the subway to work is easy, but I need to drive Hao to school. Gas prices are up again. Your car eats gas anyway, so I'll drive it for you and keep it from sitting too long. Your cousin has a weekend trip with classmates out in the suburbs. Without a car, it's inconvenient. It'd look bad too." Now that I took back my own car, I was suddenly a thief. I looked at my father sweating with anxiety, then at my mother sobbing helplessly. Then I looked at my aunt playing the perfect victim. And suddenly it all felt ridiculous. I ignored my parents tugging at me. I didn't even look at my aunt's twisted face. My eyes landed on the 2 officers who had been calmly watching this family circus. I slowly stood up and spoke calmly. "Officers, please come inside." My voice wasn't loud, but it shut down all the noise in the living room. Everyone froze, my dad, my mom, and Lin Shuqin. They probably thought I would cry or panic like a guilty child, but I didn't. I turned, went into my bedroom, and took a folder from the safe in my drawer. When I returned to the living room, I laid everything from the folder on the coffee table. My movements were calm and steady. "Officers, this is my ID. This is the purchase contract for the Mercedes with my signature on it. These are the full payment invoice and bank records totaling $427,000. And this is the vehicle registration. Owner, Lin Wei. That's me." Each document landed on the table like a slab of iron and hit Lin Shuqin right in the heart. I watched the color drain from her face, from confident red to guilty yellow, then finally deathly pale. The lead officer picked up the documents and checked them one by one. He was very thorough, even taking out his phone to look something up. The living room fell dead silent. The neighbors craned their necks and the air was thick with awkwardness. A few minutes later, the officer looked up. His expression had softened and he nodded at me. "Mr. Lin Wei, your documents check out. This car is indeed registered under your name." Then he turned to Lin Shuqin, his tone suddenly serious. "Ma'am, you may have filed a false report, given false information, and accused someone falsely. Do you understand that?" Lin Shuqin swayed like the bones had been pulled from her body, but she still refused to admit defeat. "His parents borrowed money from me. I paid for him to buy it. He's just the name on paper." My dad's face turned dark red. He wanted to say something but couldn't get a word out. The officer glanced at my embarrassed parents, then fixed his eyes on Lin Shuqin. The warning in his voice was now obvious. "Ma'am, we are dealing with vehicle ownership. Since Mr. Lin Wei is the owner, driving away his own car is not illegal. As for any financial disputes between you, settle them privately or through legal channels. But if you falsely report an emergency again and waste police resources, we will handle it according to the law." After saying that, the officers prepared to leave. As they passed me, the younger officer gave me a sympathetic look and said quietly, "Sir, family conflicts are best solved through communication. If communication worked, things wouldn't have gotten this far." Once the police left, the neighbors awkwardly closed their doors too. My dad slammed our front door shut, the loud bang making my ears ring. He turned around, his bloodshot eyes locked on me. The next second, his slap came flying at my face. I didn't dodge. After the sharp crack, my cheek burned. "You ungrateful brat! Do you have to shame this family completely?" My mom rushed over and grabbed my dad, crying. "Why are you hitting him? Can't we talk properly? Will he listen? Did you see his attitude just now? Does he even respect me as his father or his aunt as an elder?" I held my cheek and felt the burning pain, but it was nothing compared to what I felt inside. I looked at the 2 people I called my parents. They didn't care that I had been falsely called a thief, or that my car had been taken for 2 years. All they cared about was face, and that fragile family bond maintained by sacrificing their son. My tears finally fell, no matter how hard I tried to hold them back. The police were gone. The audience had left. The real trial had just begun. My dad paced around the small living room like an enraged lion, every step landing on my heart. Lin Wei, you've really grown up now. All this over one lousy car, embarrassing your aunt in front of the neighbors. His voice was full of disappointment and anger. That car was bought with 5 years of hard work, saving every penny, skipping new clothes and expensive takeout. It was the only gift I gave myself for my 30th birthday. But in his mouth, it was just one lousy car. My mom sat on the couch, wiping her tears over and over, muttering to herself, "What a sin, this is such a sin." She looked at me with red eyes and started listing the family debts I had heard since childhood. Wei, did you forget? Back then, your aunt quit high school and went to work so your dad could go to college. She gave up her chance at school for your father. Our family can never repay what we owe her. She only used your car for 2 years, so what? Compared to what she did for us, what does that even count for? Since I was little, those words had been like a curse wrapped tightly around our family. My aunt was the family hero, but also the executioner. We were all prisoners under her blade. She enjoyed the best treatment as if it were only natural. My parents always bowed their heads to her. When she came over during my childhood, my mom would kill the hen she had been saving for eggs. During the new year, the first person my dad honored wasn't my grandparents, but his sister. Now it was my turn. I had become the new sacrifice to repay that vague, endless debt. I slowly stood up, walked to my bag, and took out my phone. I opened my WeChat history with my aunt and held it up in front of them. The screen lit up their blank faces. Dad, Mom, look carefully. More than 300 messages over 2 years. I begged her over 100 times. At first I said, Auntie, I need the car this weekend. Would that be okay? Later it became, Auntie, please, I'm begging you. Give me my car back. I really need it. And her replies? Either how needed it, the car had some issue and was in the shop, or she just ignored me. Look at this. When was I not humble? When was I not begging? I was begging her to return what belonged to me. Isn't that ridiculous? My dad glanced at the phone screen, then quickly looked away, as if it were something filthy. He waved his hand, his tone full of impatience. Enough. I don't want to see this. All I know is she's your aunt, your elder. Even if you're right, you can't treat her like this. My mom turned her face away too, covering it as she cried even harder. Wait, stop talking. Your aunt has had it hard. They chose not to see it. They chose not to see my pain or my aunt's bullying. In their world, family hierarchy was the law, and I was the disobedient one. Just then, my phone started vibrating like crazy. The family group chat name, Happy Family, flashed on the screen. I didn't even have to guess. My aunt had already started her performance. I opened the chat, and message after message shot into my eyes like bullets. Aunt Lin Shuchen. I really raised an ungrateful brat. I kindly lent him the car and he stole it in the middle of the night and called the cops on me. Second uncle. Shuchen, what happened? Isn't Lin Wei usually pretty honest? Aunt Lin Shuchen. That was all an act. His heart is darker than anyone's. I finally see it now. These days, good people get punished. Third aunt. Wow, young people today really are something. Once they grow up, they don't respect their elders at all. Aunt Lin Shuchen. I've never been so humiliated in my life. My own nephew yelled at me and even brought the police into it. I've lost all face. Those relatives who knew nothing started attacking me one after another, all because of my aunt's twisted story. Private messages kept popping up. My phone felt like a hot iron, every word burning into my nerves. Then suddenly my dad called. I stared at the word dad on the screen, and for the first time felt a bone-deep chill.